Ford Field in Detroit. This is Madden Football on EA Sports. Joe Burrow and the Detroit Lions taking on Nick Mullins and the Minnesota Vikings.
Coming to you from the venue that hosted the Super Bowl back in February of '06. Welcome to Ford Field in downtown Detroit. Up in the booth with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and kickoff straight ahead, CD. What's one thing that you're going to have your eye on?
I think about what the great coaches of the past always said. The key to any ball game. Can you rush theirs and protect yours? Well, in this case, both of these teams get after the quarterbacks. I'm watching the pass rush.
The kicker, Will Reichard, has the ball on the tee, and we are underway from Ford Field. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. They'll be led out by the #1 overall pick back in 2020 from LSU. It's Joe Burrow.
And when you come into the league as the #1 guy selected, a lot of hype comes with it. And sometimes that weight can be unbearable. But this young man, he took that weight on and handled it as well as you can imagine. And I love his ability to make a second, third reaction play and create downfield.
On the ground, this is Joe Mixon, and he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back down and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
Back to Mixon on second down. Yeah, he'll fight for a couple as the tackle is made at about the 32. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
And this is going to be incomplete.
That was their first third down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key third down throws.
Jack Fox out to punt here on 4th down. Brandon Powell deep for Minnesota. The call for a fair catch, and it's made at about the 23-yard line. A 40-yard punt, no return, and it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They'll be led out by a man who rewrote Brett Favre's passing records at Southern Miss. It's Nick Mullins.
Brandon, I know he isn't at the status of some of the elite names in this league, but I do know he's an absolute fighter because he's heard all the criticisms. He's read the articles that say he isn't good enough to be the starter, and he absolutely does not care. All he wants to do is prove every doubter wrong and show that he belongs in this spot.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Looking underneath, he's got Akers. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
Nice little nifty play for him there. Yeah, that's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backs out of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got everybody oh, he just snuck out there, and they just got a nice first down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into space, right? And they were able to do that there. Nice pickup on first down.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make second down, second and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
A man who played his college ball in Tallahassee, here's Cam Akers. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
Well, this play sequence was really kind of called in reverse. Incomplete pass on 1st and 10. Nice run on 2nd and 10 when probably everyone was expecting him to throw the football. Now, if you're the defense, what are they going to do on 3rd down? You're a little off balance.
He's going to get that to his running back out of the backfield. And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Well, we know he can run the football too, but he's a good pass catcher, and that's been on display here, Charles, on this opening drive.
And we certainly have seen the benefits of what he did in the offseason, which was spend more time with wide receivers, working on routes, working on cuts, in order to make himself a more complete running back and even more of a threat downfield.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here in this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on 1st down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops and escape this drive.
Here's 2nd and 10. They're going to look to throw. He gets it to Addison. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
Well, from their point of view, this game could not be starting out much better, could it? Force a punt on defense, and now they're moving it crisply on offense.
Crisply, I like that.
Like
yeah,
that?
Yeah, moving it very, very well. Looks like the defense on their heels a little bit. You put a score in here, long way to go, but you're right, that's a heck of a start.
Yeah, and I think this is where the play caller is looking at his play sheet and saying, do I have that dagger play? Do I have that play and just finish them off right now? Because I think they'd love to gain that big advantage early.
Another good completion on the drive as the Vikings have a first down. Solid opening drive so far, Charles. They've moved this football into field goal range, but you know that they want to cap this off with 6 and not 3.
Absolutely. As one of the better coaches in the league always tells me, on offense, I want to throw body blows all game long and finish it with uppercuts. Well, here are the body blows right now. He's hoping in one uppercut will take care of the end of this drive.
They go play action here on first down. That's to Naylor once again. And he's finally taken down, and it's a big gain there on what will turn out to be the final play of this first quarter. No score after 1 on EA Sports. The Vikings with the football here to begin the second quarter as they go to work on a 1st and goal. They run it here with Oliver. And he gets halfway there from the 4 to the 2 on a gain of 2.
You got to be ready for anything when you play defense against this head coach. That is not something you'd expect to see here in the red zone, but it winds up getting him a few yards.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. Trying the power game with Ham. And this is not going to do it as he's stopped at the 2-yard line. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. So here we go on a 3rd and goal. This Lions defense, they haven't broken yet. Once more, it's the fullback Ham. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage. Back to the 4-yard line. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
I get the thought process. 3rd and short, give it to the fullback, let him bulldoze his way. But that means you're counting on your offensive line to win the line of scrimmage, aren't you?
Yeah, and there was just a mass of bodies there at the line. Looked like more defenders than offensive guys. Winds up losing yardage. Now the Vikings will send out the special teams crew here for a field goal try. From the left hash, a chip shot here. And his kick is good. And the Vikings have a 3-0 lead. So a long drive gets him down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This taken in at the goal line. And he won't quite make it to the 25. Back onto the field come the Lions for their 2nd overall drive. This one a little slow to get cooking. Just a 3-0 scoreline as they begin with a 1st and 10. Off the play fake, here's Burrow. That one into the hands of Adams downfield. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
Yeah, that's a nice pickup there, especially when it comes on the heels of a 3-and-out the first time you have the ball. They were determined to not have that happen again, and that's a nice throw for their first down of the game.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Here's a fake on the jet sweep and a run up the middle with Mixon. And he stopped immediately there. He was brought down by Kamu Grugier-Hill. 2nd quarter, 2 minutes remain. 3-0 our score. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. Now a 2nd and 10. Here's Burrow. A throw left sideline falls incomplete.
Well, he left no doubt about that one, because even though he hasn't left the pocket, he's got a receiver in the area, so it's not grounding, even though there was no way that ball was going to be caught.
The threat of a 2nd straight punt to start the game is looming as they come up 3rd and 10. Now it's Burrow. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down.
1 first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
On 4th down, Jack Fox on to punt for Detroit. He'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. The Vikings taking the field here for their 2nd drive of the game. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. That's caught by the big tight end, T.J. Hockenson. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. First play of the drive going for 14 and a first down.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Well, Zadarius Smith there getting in and bringing him to the ground. And, partner, it's safe to say that the secondary really contributed to that sack.
Yeah, nickel set, 5 defensive backs. They covered everything, nowhere to go with the football. But my question is, why didn't he throw it away?
The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Looking to throw. He'll let this go deep for Sherfield. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Pat Surtain. And the Lions will take over possession here up at the 44.
Well, this had trouble written all over from the start. He's got 2 extra defensive backs in the game he's got to deal with. They're in a dime set. So everywhere he's looking, he's seeing a different color jersey. And sure enough, this one winds up being intercepted.
The Lions now taking over late in this first half. And with good starting field position and 3 timeouts as well in their pocket, no reason not to try and put a late scoring drive together. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 44. Burrow looking to pass. The first catch of the game for George Kittle. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. Second and a couple. Now Burrow. And that's complete to Adams. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. They're passing here. Joe Burrow connects with Kittle underneath. A nice move he had, but can't break away. And he's brought down just inside the 30.
And there wasn't much room for the big tight end to do much after the catch. But at least he was able to pick up a solid gain to help his offense continue to move in the right direction.
Now 2nd and 3. Burrow will throw. Open man, right side, it's Lamb. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. It's a 39-yard attempt, right hash. Bates' kick is good, and that will tie us at 3-3. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
Maybe time for one play on offense. 7 seconds to go in the half as the kick is away. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. All that remains is to snap this once, and that'll do it for the first half of play. So we've reached halftime in a low-scoring affair, just a pair of field goals. 3-3 is our score. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach! Okay, Coach, yeah, adjustments likely going to play a big role in this third quarter in what's been a tight contest so far. Second half ready to roll. 2 field goals, the combined output in half number 1. Could be first touchdown wins. Ty Chandler now on the return. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Now the Vikings offense set to go to work to begin this third quarter. It's a tie football game here. What do you think, Charles, the message was at halftime?
Well, I think that they probably just looked at things and said, we're fortunate that this is a tie game. No need to panic, no need to change a whole lot. We didn't play anything close to our best in the first half, so we don't have to go out and win one for the Gipper. Let's just go out and play our best football and win one for us.
Now a play fake here on first down. He lets one go deep for Addison, and that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, it was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. That's to the left side where he's got Naylor. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. 2 catches in the first half. Now he's got a third here, and it's good for a first.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
They'll look to throw here on first down. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
from the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
Third quarter, all tied up. This is 2nd and 10. Back to throw again. Pass complete to Addison. And he's going to be taken down. Plus, there's a penalty flag in the backfield. They may get 15 more on top of this. Okay, so the personal foul penalty, and those are some important yards lost right there.
Yeah, it all comes down to discipline, doesn't it? And every team tells us that they coach it, they preach it. In this case, it slipped a little bit.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. A give up the middle to Akers. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Now 2nd and 8 at the 32-yard line. They'll look to throw here. Oh, and that'll be incomplete. Well, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Well, as we all know, possessions are crucial in a tie game. And let's face it, I really didn't need to tell you that. You already knew it. So when he sees he's got nothing good going, an excellent decision to just send that one to the sideline.
They need to get this to the 24 on 3rd down. They'll set up to throw. Powell on the catch. And I don't think he got there, no. He's short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches.
I thought they might take a shot down the field, but instead they ran a little drag route there. I think they were hoping he could catch it and run away from the defender. But a really good job keeping the play in front of them, and they force a 4th down.
Now the Vikings will send out the special teams crew here for a field goal try. He connected on his first, this from 41. And his kick is indeed good. And they will take the lead here in this battle of field goals at 6-3. Now, they don't get a touchdown here in the opening drive of the 3rd quarter, but I think maybe you still say mission accomplished as they come away with the lead.
No, absolutely. You keep the pressure on, right? You go downfield, get some points up on the board, and hope that you've motivated your defense to take the field and hold that lead.
Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the 2nd half. And they find themselves down on the scoreboard following the field goal a moment ago.
And I think even though they trail in the game now, I would consider that a win for their defense, and that's probably what they're telling the offense when they get to the bench. Hey, the onus is on you guys now. Get back out there and get us the lead back.
Here we go. Big 13. Big 13.
They'll try to get the run game going. This is Mixon. And he's going to get about 7 yards on that one, up to around the 33.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
Here's a 2nd and 3 now from the 33. Burrow going to fake to Mixon and now look to throw. He'll find his running back, Joe Mixon, and he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. That one a 1st down pickup of 8.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
Mixon with a first down carry. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. Able to hit his target, Lamb. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. 3 quarters have come and gone. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now at Ford Field. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the fourth quarter. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. From the shotgun, it's Burrow. It's caught here by Adams. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
And here we are in the fourth quarter, partner. I mean, watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Here we go. 180.
Now it's Burrow. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. That's another gain of 15 on back-to-back plays.
He's certainly done a nice job spreading the field on this drive, and here he finds his big tight end for good yardage. And that's what you have to do. Keep defenses guessing about where you're going to go with the football.
So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. Again, he'll drop to throw. And he's got his big tight end here. And the Lions are going to have a 1st and goal as he's taken down at about the 8-yard line.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a 1st and goal.
Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown, and that's what they're gunning for on 1st and goal. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he's brought down right at the 5-yard line. Give him 2 on the play. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Here we go.
3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the fourth. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. And they're knocking on the door. 2nd and goal now in a 1-score game.
Here we go.
2nd down, goal to go. Burrow going to give this to Mixon. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop. Ball right around the 5 here, brings up 3rd.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do? Because now you don't have a go-to play. Either side they pick, throwing it, running it, it won't be easy.
Now and he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Joe Burrow taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Lions have taken a fourth-quarter lead.
This is a great decision right here. Out of the pocket to his left, and he knows if he waits too long, the defense is going to be all over him. So he makes a decision to go and wins the race to the pylon.
Point after try forthcoming. And he's got it as the lead is now 10-6. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive.
And it was Joe Burrow who took it himself for the touchdown run.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away.
That's going to be taken at the goal line, and he'll return it. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23.
So all eyes on this Vikings offense. Down 10-6, a minute 25 to play. How will this thing pan out? We'll watch as they come up on first down. He's back to throw. Hit as he throws. He lost the football. It's loose. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And great field position coming up in the red zone at the 17-yard line.
Well, that simply is a missed opportunity. They're in position. If they take the ball downfield and score, they've got a chance to win the game. Instead, they cough it up. I don't think next week at practice is going to be a whole lot of fun for him.
On the other side, no bigger time to force a turnover when you've got that small lead.
Yeah, and when you look at it from the offense's perspective, taking care of the ball is so important. I know they're going to have all kind of ball security drills in practice all next week.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10.
Inside handoff to Mixon. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play.
A first carry now for Craig Reynolds. And he will have a Lions first down, and that's the one that should seal a victory.
Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. And the Lions will take the knee here with victory in the cards. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And they take a knee.
we go. Shot. Right 80. Right shot. Shot.
Burrow down to a knee, and that should be the final act of this one.
I don't know about you, partner, but watching them take the knee there and finish this one off, I feel like I'm going to be sore tomorrow. This was one bruising affair. Low scoring, but my kind of football.
Not a work of art, but maybe in your world, a little bit of a work of art. You like the defensive side.
I thought it was pretty. I can't help myself. I thought it was pretty.
And it ends in a kneel down as the clock rolls down to zeros.
Well, obviously, Charles, this was by no means an offensive track meet. I mean, the defenses were the story in this ball game. But, hey, they got enough points to get the job done, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
You're absolutely right about that, partner. In such a low-scoring game, it completely changes everything you had planned to do out there. Fortunately for them, they got just enough scoring to bring home the win. And in this type of a game, to play their defense, that became one of their biggest keys.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. It's a win for the Lions as we say so long from Ford Field.
Hey. From Empower Field at Mile High in Denver. This is the National Football League. As we'll see Drake May and the Denver Broncos versus Drew Lock and the New York Jets.
And a fun, close ball game comes to an end. On that last play, Charles, they were on the wrong side of midfield. They needed something near a miracle, and they couldn't get it done.
Yeah, the effort, that was good. Very good, in fact. They were just a little too far out to get a decent look at the end zone for that last opportunity. Couldn't get it done, but a nice game overall.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, everyone, as we say so long from Denver.